Okay, today I have quite a bit of information to share, but I'm going to be, rather than sort of dwell on each point, really hope that you guys will jump in. Otherwise, it'd just be a lecture, and I don't find lectures benefit many people. We love to hear each other's stories, participate, learn from each other. So I hope this would be one of those. And I'll tell you why. Unlike, say, if we were discussing AI, I hope to do a little bit more about AI next time we meet. But unlike discussing sort of topics that don't affect our personal life always, today's topic actually, for some, could be life changing. If you really get what we are talking about, if it seeps deeply into your psyche, I think it will make a big difference. So, see if you can follow with me, and then don't worry too much about practices and so on. I always feel if you see the truth of something, that is 90% there. The kind of what to do and workbook and everything else that you come across is secondary. But do you really see what we're talking about? So let me launch into this by asking a simple question. And this is not going to get a lot of responses, but let me ask. Raise your hand if you feel you are a puppet. No, I don't say puppet to who. I'm just a puppet means somebody's pulling your strings. So I've got Amr has got his hand up. Why do you feel you're a puppet, Amr?
Morning, Faiz. I
Mm.
think by somehow puppet is someone who sometimes is driven by other people's actions. So I strongly believe that there are a lot of times where I do things not because I want to do it, but because the it's the action required by the other person to make for me to do it.
Okay. Let me ask the second question. Who feels they're the puppet masters? They control the scene. Don't be shy. We have to play around. Otherwise, oh, you got the Amr again as a puppet master. You both, huh? You play on
Yeah,
both
Faiz. Yeah,
poison.
it does, Faiz. Yeah. So sometimes we are the puppet. Sometimes we also become the puppet master.
Okay, well, we'll see now. We got a couple of responses. Interesting. I'll see how they pan out, how they add up when we get into the details. Anyone else has a contribution to make before we proceed? Okay, I think Giant, were you going to say something or you just scratching yourself?
No, actually, I wanted to relate it to your last presentation. We had discussed about Maya and Leela. So Maya and Leela are the components that make you a puppet, and it is your karma, the third component, that makes you the puppet master because you're consciously doing actions, you're consciously taking decisions. So definitely, you become a puppet master with your karmas. Thank you.
Okay, Dan, that's really interesting. Obviously, I've studied both Hinduism and Buddhism, so I understand what you're talking about. But maybe for the rest of the people on the call, it might be a bit of double gook here. So let's bring it down to earth, and I could tell you everything I will say from now on is something you've lived. We're not talking about anything esoteric. This is fairly straightforward. So I could tell you one thing. On one occasion or in one state of mind, you are a total puppet. When, tell me, when do you feel, or you may not feel it, but when I say it, you might get it. When do you feel I am in this situation, under these circumstances, I am a real puppet, and there's a puppet master somewhere controlling my emotion, my action, my behavior? When are you a real down to earth, real puppet? Contribution. I'm not going to let you just sit and be entertained. Otherwise, you won't be entertained. You'll be bored. You don't want to hear me. Yes,
So yeah, Faiz, in the kitchen and in the food area, I'm a real puppet, Faiz. I don't know what do I do. Whatever my wife says, I just follow.
oh, so you feel your wife is the puppet master.
Master, yeah.
Well, I am not so sure she will agree with you there, but I am going to surprise you. It's not usually it's not the boss, it's not the wives, it's not like that. So let's move on. When you're angry, you're a total puppet. And why anger is such an issue? And it really is one of those very, very serious issues. And primarily, if you want to recall, last time you were angry, I mean, seriously angry, not just a little bit miffed, usually you will feel you've said something you've regretted, right? Especially if it is outspoken. Usually you have said possibly something toxic. Usually you have spoiled a relationship to some degree or another. Sometimes really seriously, sometimes not so bad, but it can be. Sometimes it's irreversible. Okay. And often, after you've said all you had to say and you reflect on it in the dark of the night or the early the morning, regret starts to seep in. I wish I never said that. I didn't need to say that. I was really wrong, whatever. So anger is really one of those things that it's a good one to measure against when we're talking about puppet and puppet master. So you have to ask who controls those feelings. Anybody has a clue?
We, Faiz, ourselves.
Okay. So who else? Amar says we control. So if you control, you can also control not to do it.
The one who makes us feel angry or regret.
Okay, the person who made you feel angry. Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe the situation itself
The
controls.
situation itself, yes, it could be to some degree. See, it's fun when you guys speak up. Hamad, speak. Hamad Nasser.
I think our needs, our ambition, this could be also a reason to be to make us a puppet.
Okay, yes, that the circumstances of your life. Okay, so things happen. Life is very complex. Things are happening all the time. Try and visualize this, and whenever things happen, this is a good visual. Can you see it? It's a stone thrown into a lake. Now, what happens if you throw a pebble into a lake? If you don't do anything, the pebble sinks to the bottom and the lake becomes tranquil again, right? But what happens if you say, no, nobody should have thrown a pebble in my lake, and you jump in and you thrash about to get it out? Then your whole lake becomes murky. It is all disturbed only because you've jumped in. So always look at it. Things will happen in life, but whether you treat it as a little stone thrown in a lake, or you're going to be involved and dictate what should and shouldn't happen. So this is the very first clue. Anger is an inside job. Anybody want to tell me why is that an inside job? I saw Sajib shake his head. So Sajib, why is anger an inside job? No, you're muted still.
Sorry, Faiz. Yeah, I think it's a mind play, and mind is something that you have no control, and you have no control about the stimuli. It's only the control you can have is the way you choose to respond to those stimuli.
Yes, it's very much this is the first insight. If you don't get this, the rest of whatever I'll say will be meaningless. Anger is an inside job. It has very little to do with what happens outside. circumstances, etc. I'm going to use something that happened to me recently as a story that maybe helps the understanding as we go along the presentation. Some of you will know, most will not, especially from Dubai. We had a traffic issue recently in Abu Dhabi where a truck going under the new bridge that is being constructed on Sheikh Khalifa Highway, the truck hit the scaffolding. It's a metal sort of I-beams that are used there to protect it until they put signage, etc. And somebody slammed into it. It kind of started to collapse. They stopped the traffic. If you think all traffic leaving Abu Dhabi, especially going to Dubai or Yas or any of the outlying areas, has to go that way. So if those coming from Reem Island, from the Corniche, from Mina, if you know Abu Dhabi, there's a lot of traffic. Now, if you get caught in this, and this is not a small accident where they can move the car on the side and solve the problem. This is a serious accident. Scaffolding is about to collapse. And if it collapses, it can really hurt people, damage cars. It's a very serious. So they blocked the tunnel. And yours truly was caught in a gridlock. I'm looking in front of me is blocked. I'm looking behind me is blocked. Sideways. I know the area well. I thought I could try because I didn't know at that time it was that whatever happened. I thought I could escape, go to Mina and go around. Everything I thought of, everything I tried was gridlock. It's like a car park. Okay. So, and I think, goodness, I have this commitment, I have to do this, I have this to fulfill. And especially if you have any sense of self-importance, I'm happily say that is minimal with me. But if you have that, how dare you block me? I've got all these commitment. I am Mr. Important, and you can start to feel your emotion rises. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell too much, but just keep referring to this example as we go along. So here, when I say don't hand over power, primarily I mean don't hand it over to circumstances or to other people. Somebody cut you on the highway. Somebody maybe behaved badly towards you, etc. The moment you forget it's an inside job, you are handing over the power to somebody else. That, he upset me. He said the wrong thing. He shouldn't have done this. Here, I'm using a visual. If you leave the door wide open in your flat or your house, are you not inviting burglars, people to wander in, even animals? When you hand over power, is equivalent to you saying, my mind is like a rubbish bin, come and dump in it. You've left it wide open. So you either remember it's an inside job, or you convince yourself it's the world outside, other people, circumstances, and you leave your door wide open. Bear that in mind. I'm telling you, all of this, you might think, what's this? Fayez is giving us a psychology lesson here. I am not really more than I am in a sales organization. Our number one strength is our ability to deal with the outside world. How we interpret what people say and do. Do we get angry? Do we get carried away? How do we handle it? Some of you are really masters at this. And actually, most of you, because here you are successful, have a bunch of clients that are loyal to you forever. Some of you get into a big problem very quickly. And usually I find in you, you have problems with colleagues. You kind of much more differential to clients. So your client relationship is good, but colleague relationships sometimes suffer. And that also is costly. You cannot be that successful if you have damaged relationship on your right and left. So you need to protect that inner peace. It's an inside job. How do I protect that inner peace is all important. So you can ask, why am I angry? Children, I love the way they react. It's not fair. I don't know who are they blaming on this, but that's how they go about it. Sorry, here the images come up too soon. Now, if you're angry, some people say, I get angry, but I don't show it. Believe me, both are wrong. If you repress it, psychologically, emotionally, it hurts you inside. And it will come out where in unexpected circumstances, like in a small explosion, you repress, then unfortunately for whoever is with you at the time it wants to explode, they get the wrath of your repressed anger. Some people say it's better with anger, just express it, don't repress it, don't hold back. Both are wrong, and we'll come to see if you're going to say psychologically better is to just get angry and get it out of your system. Well, bear in mind, unless you're going to put your head in under a pillow and scream, usually it is directed at somebody and it hurts the relationships. This is your primary reason for the anger that arises. You have expectations and you expect the world to obey your expectations. The world isn't designed to please you. The world or God or the universe is pleasing 8 billion people. They can't all be happy at the same time. So if you have certain expectation, then anger will be your companion forever. You can expect and work towards it, but just always remember it is an expectation. It's not a demand on the universe to obey. Okay? So we've said it is never about the other, it is your action. This will hold you back from jumping too quickly to conclusion. We go to interpreting events. So let's go back to my bridge problem. What was if I didn't know what was the accident, I have two ways of interpreting this. I could say, it's a really bad day. This started on the wrong foot even before I left the house. And then this happened, and then that. And now at the end of it, when I'm desperate to get out of this and get to my house and whatever else I have to do, your mind goes into this interpretation, and it's only a story in your head. Okay? So if you hold back from any interpretation and just observe it as it is, it has a different effect on you. If you have any rules that nobody should ever swear at me or insult or whatever, life will break your rule every time. Okay, so we come to this, I think Amr said something, sometimes I'm the puppeteer, sometimes I'm the puppet. And frankly, most of the time, in fact, all of the time, there is no control. We like to think there is control. You can only do your best, but life is too complex. I always think of it as life is, if you think of an equation with about 1 million parameters, and you are one or two of these parameters, what's your chances of controlling the outcome of the equation? It's almost impossible. You can try your best, but remember, life is too complex for you to control anything. All you can do is do your best, and then end your day, put your head on the pillow and say, today I've done my very best. It didn't all work out, but I've done my very best. And then you start again tomorrow. Okay, this is your mission, to remember every time something happens, look inward. Don't look for outward signs, what got it wrong, why it happened. It didn't go wrong. If you have a party and it rains and it ruins the party, let's say we have a gathering outside, there is no outward. Life happens. Inward is your expectation. Okay? This is the worst of all. I am right is the most costly thing that you can ever entertain. Please, you are never right or wrong. Things happen. If you stick to I am right, every encounter is an argument. and to defend it is extremely expensive. Okay, so what do we do? Pause is always the best one. Keep this red button handy. Okay, especially when you're dealing with colleagues or clients. Definitely, I don't need to tell you when you're dealing with your spouse. If you don't press the pause button, chances are you blurt something that you later regret, or he or she will make you regret in so many different ways. So slow down, pause. And always remember, if you're angry, anger is never a solution. It's just an explosion that cost you an awful lot, okay? If you treat it, wait a minute, I'm angry. It's like a computer prompt that's saying to you, you need a better response. This response is toxic, it's no good. Can you use it as an indicator rather than, I'm right to behave this way? Very few people feel the emotion arise and see it as a prompt. They act on it. So let's go to replace with empathy or humor. I want now somebody to participate. I spoke enough. So instead of getting angry, what does it mean to replace that anger with empathy or humor? Any suggestions? Tawfiq. Yeah, we don't hear you, although you're not muted, but something with your mic.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah, better. Yes, yes.
Yes. There is in Islam a say, when you are humble in front of God, God will raise you. How I read that, whenever you are humble, you can stop, analyze, process, see the both parts, then take the best decision. Do not have to be angry and process. Whenever you are in that mindset, you will take the best decision and your anger will be less, because anger usually from the thing that we don't understand it or the thing that shock us. So whenever you stop, you try to analyze it, you have a chance just to analyze it. Whenever you analyze more, you will win more. Whenever you will win more, God will raise you more.
Okay, good one. Okay, so somebody, let's say somebody behind you, flashing you on the highway. We've been through this example many times. Do I get angry? Or if I talk about empathy, then maybe this guy is in a hurry, he's taking his wife to the hospital. Or he is being called, I see a lot of even official cars. If they're summoned by somebody high up, they have to race like hell. I'm not sure they enjoy it, but they know, come now. Come now means they will do all kind of things to come now. So this is your empathy. On the humor side, um, I go back to my incident. I thought to myself, what a fantastic day. If I wanted to collect enough things going wrong in one day, I couldn't do it better. And I found it somewhat humorous. I thought, rather than get angry, I happened to be at that moment on the Corniche, and I noticed on my right there's a Costa Cafe. So I thought, instead of fighting everybody and sitting in this car park, there's an exit here. I went to it, fantastic. Parked in front of Costa, thought by the time I have a cup of tea, enjoy myself, browse through something, it would clear up. But by that time, I have been quite a long time in traffic and I was desperate to go to the toilet. Thought, fantastic, Costa Coffee is the place to go. I go there and I ordered the tea and I say, where's the toilet? She says, oh, sorry, we used to have a toilet, but they closed it. I said, what? It's a big cafe. You closed it? Yes, we closed it. So now you can scream, you can laugh, you can do whatever you want. So here, the humor thing, the gods are playing games with me. Never mind, I'll have to enjoy the tea and, be more patient. So you can always either fight a situation or see another angle to it. I mean, I don't know which cafe of that, or like imagine a Starbucks who says that we have no toilets. It just doesn't happen. That day it did happen. Okay. This one we've covered before. Very few of you maybe still remember. Why is defense is the first act of war? We're talking about defense here usually in relationship. So somebody's had a go at you, said something to you, annoyed you, and you start defending. You remember, defense is the first act of war. I want you to remember this, especially with your kind of better half, whoever is your better half. The moment you want to defend the position, remember you're starting a war. You might be saying something as gentle as, "Oh, I didn't do that," or, "Oh, I was never there," whatever. Whatever you say that is not just simple understanding, you're starting a war. This may seem extreme. Any examples here? You've all done it, but you don't realize you've done it. And you don't know that the escalation starts at the most mundane, simple thing. Nobody has an example or so is it ever Tawfiq? I know you were great at contribution. I want your colleagues to also jump in. Somebody to tell me the situation where they tried to defend their position and then found unexpectedly things are escalating. My goodness. It shows me either you don't want to participate or you don't realize it. So I'm not going to give you the example. I want you to remember the most likely situation where you have the full justification what you did. Let's say you were late, okay, coming home. Whether your husband or wife prepared something for you, whatever, but you're late. And she says, "Well, you're late. I've been this and I've prepared that," etc. Now, a good reaction is, I'm really sorry. Simple, finished. Or, "Well, I have to work hard. It's not in my hand. There are customers." You're defending. Now, what she is going to say? The war started. She's going to say, "Yeah, but you care more about your customers or your colleague than me," and here we go. And you lose it. Don't defend unless you wish to start a war. People think defense is something benign. It isn't. It is the beginning of a fighting match. Just every time you face a situation that could escalate into anger, always ask, is it worth my peace? Or should I just walk away and enjoy the rest of my evening, my day, my morning? Always put it against this test. My peace is far more important. It preserves the relationship. It preserves my sanity. Always ask that. Okay. So I'm going to speed up a bit because we're coming to a half hour. So always reframe it. I learn a lot from children. When somebody start doing something stupid or a shout or whatever, they laugh about it. Are you able to do what children do? Just watch them. You think they should be at each other's throat, but they end up having a good laugh. Okay? Always view anger as a lesson, not something to affront you. And don't ever think, I think Mandela said this, holding on to anger is like drinking a poison, expecting the other person to die. When you hold on to anger or get angry, you think by that you can resolve the issue and the other person will maybe come down. It isn't. You're only taking the poison yourself. And irritation for growth, we've said that. Anytime you're irritated, somebody's testing you and you could become a bigger person. Always remember that. Other people's behavior, it's their problem. They've had their challenges. They've had a tough life. Don't add to it. Don't make it corrupt your life. And don't take it personally. This is one of the best ways to dilute anger. I think so. If peace is your choice every day, and if you remember the most accomplished singers and dancers, etc., they're good at breath control. Most of us, moment gets sort of heated, we lose our ability to breathe normally. So it becomes shallow or fast. This is one of the easiest thing you can do to keep your peace, is practice always even breathing, many breathing exercises to keep your temperament even. Okay? Stay in the present. Most of us are either in the past or in the future, and past is about regret and the future is about worries. Don't waste time in those two areas. There's only today and this moment. And let gratitude, few moments of gratitude, when you wake up, maybe midday, maybe before you go to bed, if there's any anger and you say, okay, things didn't go well, but my health is fine, or my family is great, or my wife, or my husband, find something that will de-escalate the whole anger, okay? And remember this, it's never about who wins any argument. We think that is because the ego is driving the show. If it's not about who wins the argument, what's it about? If you have no ambition to win any argument, what do you want to do? It's about the special person who never needs or no longer needs to argue. That is quite a tall order, but can you ever get to that? So, let's see, who is the real puppet master now? We've covered quite a lot of ground. Who's the puppet master? Now I need some guesses. Very quick show of hand and just say, who's the puppet master? Yeah, Zach.
Our ego.
Okay. More.
Our emotions.
Huh? Our emotions?
Emotions.
Okay. More.
Knowledge.
Lack of knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Naeem, you said something.
Yeah, our beliefs as well.
Our beliefs. Okay.
Our minds.
Our minds. You know, you're
Faiz, in the end, so Faiz, in the end, it's we only.
me, huh?
Yeah, me.
Okay. So you're homing in on something which will be a topic for a future presentation. This is your biggest enemy. It's not the person outside. It's not the circumstances. There's a monkey in our minds that come up with all wrong conclusions and drives us mad. And you think you're the master, he is the master. And there are ways and means to deal with this idiot, because he makes life miserable for most of you. So there you have a puppet master. If you remember this visual, next time you get angry, remember who is driving the show. And it's not you, it is this puppet master who invents stories and thoughts. You know, there are 60,000, this is the researcher, 60,000 thoughts per day. Imagine it takes quite an active monkey to do that. Okay, I think we're coming to a conclusion. What I'd really like to ask you, especially those of you who think this has been a waste of time, please make sure to leave a comment. That's where we learn. I said it last time, I'll say it again. I don't learn, and you don't learn from successes. It's when it is not up to the standard and you say, because this, because that, then we can enhance on that. Thank you very much and have a great day.